Good morning, dear children. In last two classes, we have already completed the present tense and past tense and its passive and active forms. Today, we are going to learn the active and passive forms of simple future and future perfect. We will also learn how to convert an imperative sentence to passive as well as the models, how to change the models into passive forms. We will also learn about the non-passive tenses as well as the non-passive verbs. Let's start with the simple future tense now. The structure of the sentence is subject plus will or shall plus first form of the verb plus object. As you know, simple future tense is used to talk about things that haven't happened yet. For example, this year I will join in music class. You can also use simple future to talk about any action or condition that will begin and end in the future. Now let's take the same example. Akash will write a story in this week. Akash will write a story in this week. See the structure: subject plus will or shall plus verb 1 plus object. It is an active voice. Now let's change the same to passive voice. As I told you, when you change to passive voice, we have to exchange the subject and object. Then we have to change the tense, the verbs. See what is the verb change happens here. Will or shall will change to will be or shall be plus verb 3. Let's see how it changes. Akash will write a story on this week changes to a story will be written by Akash in this week. So will changes to will be, write changes to written as usual in every passive forms. Now let's move to the negative sentence. Akash will not write a story in this week. Akash will not write a story in this week. As we told earlier, we have to add not in the same structure. A story will not be written by Akash in this week. A story will not be written by, will not, you can also say won't. A story won't be written by Akash in this week. Now let's move to the interrogative of simple future. Akash will write a story on this week. It's an affirmative sentence. As usual, we want to bring the helping verb will to the beginning to make it interrogative. Will Akash write a story in this week? Will Akash write a story in this week? It is the interrogative sentence of simple future in active form. Now let's change to passive form. The same question word you have to use. Will a story be written by Akash in this week? See the change. Will a story be written by Akash in this week? Dear students, I think some of you may have a confusion regarding the usage of will and shall. Remember, earlier we used to say that the helping verb will is used with singular subjects such as he, she, it, etc. And shall, the helping verb shall is used with plural subjects such as I, we, they, etc. But nowadays, remember that in modern English, the helping verb will is preferred to shall in all situations with all subjects, whether it is singular or plural. At the same time, nowadays shall is used mainly with I and we to make an offer, suggestion, or advice. For example, shall I open the window? It's an offer. Shall I open the window? Sometimes, as an advice, seeking advice, we can ask, what shall I tell the boss about this money? What shall I tell the boss about this money? So it is seeking advice. So these kind of situations using shall is better, and will is commonly used with singular and plural subjects nowadays. Remember, shall is used with even you, he, she, they also in literary and poetic situations. Literary and poetic situations, many people use shall with singular as well as plural subjects. For example, she shall have music wherever she goes. She shall have music wherever she goes. So nothing wrong in that. But in brief, you understand that. Don't get confused. Will is commonly used with all kinds of singular and plural subject nowadays. But it is better to use shall in the matter of offer, suggestion, advice, or request, such kind of occasions. Clear? Dear children, now let's discuss the future perfect tense. Future perfect tense refers to a completed action in the future. That can be any action or condition which will be completed perfectly sometime later than now. Remember, future perfect tense is often used with time expressions. For example, I will have completed my homework within today evening. So within today evening is the time expression. Let's see the structure of the future perfect tense. It is subject plus will or shall plus have plus V3 verb, third form of the verb plus object. Remember, have is used with singular as well as plural subject here in future perfect tense. Let's take the same example of Akash. Akash will have left his home by the time you read this. Akash will have left his home by the time you read this. So the speaker is very sure that Akash will have left his home in future perfectly by the time you read this sentence. See the structure: subject plus will plus have plus V3 form of leave is left plus object. Let's see the passive. Do the same exchange of subject and object and observe the verb change. Will have left will change to will have been left. Same like present perfect tense or past perfect tense. His home will have been left by Akash by the time you read this. See, the object become the subject here. His home will have been left by Akash by the time you read this. So subject plus will have been plus V3 plus object is used here. Now let's move to negative sentence. Akash will not have left his home by the time you read this. It is negative sentence. So will not is usually expressed won't. So Akash won't have left his home by the time you read this. It is negative. Subject plus will not plus have plus V3 plus object. Now let's change to passive. His home won't have been left by Akash by the time you read this. His home won't have been left by Akash by the time you read this. Subject plus will plus not plus have been plus V3. So same structure, only we are adding the not. So will not is usually indicator won't, W-O-N apostrophe T. Now let's see how it can be changed to interrogative sentence. Future perfect interrogative. So as usual we have to bring the helping verb into the starting of the sentence. Will Akash have left his home by the time you read this? It's a future perfect interrogative sentence. Will Akash have left his home by the time you read this? Format is will or shall plus subject plus have plus third form of the verb. So let's see how to change it to passive. Same helping verb we can use. Will, then we have to take the object as subject. His home have been left by Akash by the time you read this. Will his home have been left by Akash by the time you read this. Dear students, now let us see how to change modals to passive forms. Modal verbs, as you know, can, could, may, might, shall, should, must. All these words are called modal auxiliaries. So it is very simple to change these modals to passive forms. If it is can, it changes to can be. Could means could be. Must means must be. May means may be. Might means might be. Should means should be. For example, Akash can write a letter. A letter can be written by Akash. Akash could write a letter. A letter could be written by Akash. Akash may write a letter. A letter may be written by Akash. So it is very simple. And next one, past modals. Past modals means should have, must have, may have. So these are changed to passive by using been. For example, should have changes to should have been, must have changes to must have been, may have changes to may have been. For example, Akash should have written a letter. A letter should have been written by Akash. Akash must have written a letter. A letter must have been written by Akash. Dear students, now let's see how to convert the imperative sentence to passive forms. As you know, imperative sentences convey a command, request or advice. For example, respect the elders, don't disturb the animals, such kind of sentences. So they may not have a known subject, but it is understood by the listener. Remember, imperative sentence passive start with let be. Let be. Take the example, respect elders. So it's an imperative sentence. Doer of the action is not there or subject is not there. So when we change to passive voice, we have to use let the elders be respected. Don't waste your time. Let the time not be wasted. So it's very simple. Imperative sentence, when you change, use let be in passive form and change the verb to V3 form. Dear students, now we have completed the active and passive forms of all 8 tenses. At the same time, there are 4 more tenses which we can't change to passive. They are known as non-convertible tenses. There are 4 such kind of tenses. First one is present perfect continuous. Second one is past perfect continuous. Third one is future perfect continuous. And fourth one is future continuous. These 4 tenses need not be or can't be converted to passive forms. Dear students, you might have come across some sentences which can't be converted to passive forms, though they belong to the permitted tenses. For example, Akash is going to school. Present continuous tense. But you can't change to passive forms. Akash has sat on a chair. You can't change to passive voice. Here, understand that every tense, every verb cannot be changed to passive forms. So, verb can be divided into transitive verb and intransitive verb. All the transitive verb can be changed to passive forms, while intransitive verb can't be changed to passive forms. Let's see what is a transitive verb. A verb that requires an object to give a complete meaning is called transitive verb. A verb that requires an object to give a complete meaning is called transitive verb. See the example. He bought. So if I write he bought, the sentence is incomplete or the meaning is imperfect. You don't understand what he has bought. So if I write he bought a book, here when I add the object a book, the sentence is very clear and meaningful. So we can say the verb bought or the verb buy is a transitive verb which requires an object. So it is a transitive verb. This can be easily changed to passive voice as usual. A book was bought by him. At the same time, let's see what is intransitive verb. A verb which does not require an object and can give a complete meaning without an object is called intransitive verb. A verb which doesn't require an object and can give a complete meaning without an object is called intransitive verb. For example, he laughs. He laughs. He sleeps. He is sitting. He is living. So these verbs are called intransitive verbs which does not require an object, because when we hear he laughs or he sleeps, we understand the complete meaning. So if you add any object to this, it can be meaningful, but you can't change to passive voice. That is why if you say he is sitting in a chair, he is sitting in a chair, you can't change to passive form, though it is present continuous tense. So please understand that transitive verbs can be changed to passive, but intransitive verb such as live, go, laugh, sleep, sit, reach, die, etc. can't be changed to passive forms. Dear students, we have completed almost all the part of active and passive form. We have started 3 weeks before, and now we have completed with 3 consecutive chapters. So whatever the doubts you have regarding all these passive forms or active forms, please contact me and clear your doubts. And a few assignment questions will be given based on today's classes, and sometimes some questions of related to previous class also will be given. Please try to identify. I may not give exact whether it is passive or active. You should recognize a tense whether it is in passive voice or active voice, and you also should recognize the tense of the sentence. If you are successful to identify a sentence whether it is active or passive voice and which tense it belongs, you can make sure that you are perfect in active and passive voice. Read as many as English books, stories, and every time you read a book, you just observe whether it is active voice or passive voice, whether it is in simple present tense or simple past tense, all such details. Thank you.